Okay, class. So let's begin. Now, we had already completed the fourth module, right? So now we are left with the fifth module. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So we are left with the fifth module, where there are three topics that needs to be discussed. Okay, which is technical report writing, proposal framing, writing a research paper. Okay, the rest has already been uh, taught. Okay, so today, okay, before I start a new topic, let me first talk about your assignments. Okay, the internal assessment. So I had told you in the beginning of the class that you will be evaluated out of 20 marks, and since this is a huge class, so many students are there. So you each one of you will get one opportunity. Okay, it will be an individual presentation, okay, where you can talk about any topic, okay, of your interest, any general topic, okay, of your interest, and you have to talk for 3 to 5 minutes, minimum 3 minutes and maximum 5 minutes. Okay, we will start with this internal assessment once I complete the syllabus, which is like the three topics. Okay. So by next week, I hope to complete these three topics, and then the you are not coming to the college from 21st March, right? That is what the new notification says. Um, you will be intimated by the end of this month when you have to report. So we will be getting 2 weeks time before you report here. Okay. So we can finish off with the assignments, this internal assessment online itself. Okay. We will start your internal assessment from 23rd March. Okay. 23rd, 24th, 30th, and 31st. Is that clear? Do you have any question regarding your internal assessment or what you need to do? You can ask me now.
Ma'am,
Did you
what do
follow?
you exactly mean by presentation?
Yes, presentation. By presentation, I
By
basically mean
PPT or what?
no, 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 no. We don't have time for PPT. We do that for PG and PhD students. But since you all are in UG first semester, and due to the paucity of time, we cannot let you, present those slides. Okay, so PPT is not required. Just verbal communication. Okay, you just need to talk about a particular topic
The topics, any topic we like or what?
in any topic of your choice, your interest area. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
avoid technical topics. General topics will be appreciated. Okay, any topic of your choice. So you are getting ample time. Today is 9th, and I said that you will be starting your internal assessment from 23rd. So 2 weeks time is there. So you can prepare any topic, okay, of your choice, of your interest. You have to speak for 3 to 5 minutes. 3 minutes minimum, 5 minutes maximum. Okay, you will be evaluated out of 20 marks, and you won't be getting any, second chances. So you better be present on the day your presentation is scheduled. Okay, did you follow?
Ma'am, what is the order of presentation?
Roll number wise. Okay,
Oh,
we'll start from the first roll number. Okay, and then we will move on. Any other question regarding our internal assessment?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so
No,
all
ma'am.
of you have followed. Fine. So from 23rd, just keep this in mind. Okay. So now today, let's start with a new topic. We'll start with report writing. Okay. One thing I had told you earlier, so you would remember, in report right, when I was talking about the fifth module, I said that in the fifth module you have sections which will be helpful if you, in your fourth semester, and if you go for higher studies. Other than that, it is not so much required for your UGTs. Okay. Why? Because the technical report writing, proposal framing, research paper, these are something which are required if you are seeking, some kind of funding for a project, or, if you are going for research, then only these things need to be learned. Because all these, uh, you know, topics or types of manuscripts, let's say, have particular formats which you need to adhere to when you are writing it. Okay, so let's start with report. Okay, so report writing, it has a format as I was talking about. So first you start with the title section. Okay, what does this title section include? Now this title section includes the name of the authors and the date of report preparation. Okay. Now it can be one author, two author, multiple authors, and the date of preparation. It does not mean that you started today and you took 1 week, so you are giving that duration of 1 week. Suppose 9th March to 16th March. No, not that. If you're submitting on 16th March, so you are putting 16th March as the date of preparation of report, the day you submit a report, and reports are submitted. In fact, all the topics in the fifth module are actually submitted for consideration at some place or the other. Okay. Report writing, it is usually submitted, when you have undertaken a project. Okay. And you have to give the update of how your project is progressing. So you're giving a report. There you submit it. If you go for higher studies, you have read something, some article, some document, or you have done some kind of experiment, okay, or some field study. So there you need to present a report of that study. There, and what you do, you just don't prepare it and keep it to yourself. You actually submit it. Where maybe it can be your supervisor, or if you are going to get it published somewhere, you can send it to the publisher as well. Okay, so all these three documents mentioned there are actually submitted at some place or the other for consideration. Okay, and dissemination of knowledge also. So the first, we in the format of the report, we start with the title section, as I had said, which includes the name of the authors and date of report preparation. Okay. Then there is this summary or abstract. Now, summary of the abstract, your report will contain, details of your study. That's true. But then, you must give a glimpse of what the study is all about. So that will be there in your summary or abstract page. It will just highlight the major points of the study. What are the conclusions? And if your report has some kind of recommendations, that will be there in your summary. It is very short. Okay, it's an overview of the report. Say if your report is like 10 pages long, okay, the standard format, I'm saying your summary would be like half a page, some 200, 250 words, something of that sort. Okay, that would be the word limit. Why this summary highlights these important points, conclusions, and recommendations? Because some people are so busy, they do not take the pain of going through the entire report. Okay, they'll just read the summary and decide whether your entire report must be read or not read. Okay. So it is better if you prepare this summary or the abstract, as I'm saying, uh, you write it after you have finished writing your full report. because it is only then you will understand what are the major points in your report, what conclusions you have deduced from your report, what recommendations you can give in your report. Okay. Now, after you have given this summary or abstract, you have the segment called introduction. Okay. Now, introduction we all know. In school days, we have all written essays. Like, so in essay, what did we have? Introduction, body, conclusion, right? So in the introduction, what do you used to do? We used to introduce the reader, the audience with the topic. Now, here it is not an essay. Although here the structure, when we start with the introduction, somewhat it is like, it may follow the pattern of the essay because we would talk about introduction, body, conclusion. But the components that make up the introduction is highly different from the essay. Why? Because your report is a technical document. And as I was saying, it would be required if you go for higher studies, further research. Okay. So your and when you're going for research, you actually try to look into a problem. You try to innovate, some ways of solving an existing problem. So you are actually contributing, and there is a problem that you are looking into. So in your introduction, you will have to explain this kind of problem. Okay. And the purpose why you are actually preparing this report. You need to define all these things in clear terms in your introduction. Okay? And you must also, explain how you have further arranged this report. This must be there in your introduction. Then you have the body part. Okay. Now, body parts, just as in this normal simple essay, we in the body part we included the main points. In report also, we include the main points, major points in the body. This is the main section of the report. But see, in essay, we had sub paras in the body, not one single paragraph, but sub paras, which would discuss about the different aspects of the particular topic you were discussing in the essay, right? Here, what you do, there are several sections. Sometimes, you and each section has subheadings, headings. Okay, sometimes subtitle. You underline it, and then the information is arranged according to the order of importance. And the most important information comes first. Okay. So in this body part, you will talk about, since see, in the introduction, you have already talked about the problem you are discussing. So in the body part, you will obviously discuss, how you have looked into that problem, what methodology you have used, to solve that problem. What is the experiment you must have conducted? Or, what are the books, articles you must have read, to arrive that may have led you, to that different innovative way of solving a particular problem. Okay. So you give all these details in your body section. Then you have your conclusion. Okay. In this conclusion, this is a very important section. Now, when we were in school, when we used to write the conclusion of an essay, what did we do? We simply used to, summarize whatever we had said in the previous paragraphs, right? But here, conclusion is not so simple. Here, you should give actually, deductions of your study. This is what you have arrived at, after you have conducted an experiment or field study, or after reading so many articles, books on that particular problem, you have arrived at this particular conclusion, not simple summary, okay, of whatever you have discussed. That was done away with essay. Okay. We limit that to only essay writing, not in report writing. Okay. And it should be simple. No more usage of technical terms. All those things will be done in your body section. Then comes the recommendations. Okay. Now, since your conclusions are clear cut, you have said, this is what you have deduced from your study, then obviously you will come up with recommendations. Your conclusions may tell you, there are certain things that needs to be looked into, or there must be some further scope of study, or while studying you must have come across certain limitations. So what can be done to overcome those limitations. All these will come under your recommendations section. Then you have the appendices. Okay. Now this appendices section is very interesting. Okay. This appendices section, or the appendix as we say, it includes, all the information, uh, that your experts will read. This section actually tells you, or gives the details of, the technical uh, items, okay, you have taken up or considered while studying. Suppose you have conducted an experiment, okay, for your study. So, so suppose you have conducted an experiment, okay. Now, that experiment, you have talked about what that experiment was all about in your report, right? Now, suppose you need to give the, the step by step, um, uh, the stepwise, what would I say? How you have conducted the experiment, okay, the stepwise details. Okay, this was the first step, this was the second step. Like, in the chemistry books, we had, those lab experiments, those diagrams were given there, the tables were there. First you do this, first you then you do that, okay, for different experiments. So, you need to prepare some kind of diagram. So you do not put it, while you are explaining your report. You do that in your appendices. Those kind of diagrams are given in your appendices. So whatever you have written in your report, mainly in your body section, and then you have come to the conclusion. Okay. So those uh, are substantiated by some kind of technical information, okay, or technical document or technical diagram that is included in the appendices. So, the experts understand that, okay, this person has actually taken the pain of, conducting the experiment himself, or, going through the problem, okay, and trying to solve it in a different way. Okay. So, those are they're included in the appendices. Okay. Now, did you understand the format of the technical report when you write? Did you understand the format and what you need to include in those points?
Yes, ma'am.
Any question?
Ma'am, the diagram in appendix will be about the procedure which we took to solve the
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Right. Even if it is not a diagram, suppose it's only, some kind of mathematical solution, some kind of, equations which you have solved, that can also be included. Now, it depends upon the kind of study you have conducted. Okay. If it is experiment based, we'll give, maybe draw the stepwise diagram of that experiment. If it is, solving some kind of equation, so you will give, how the equation has been solved. So those are included in the appendices. Okay, if it is field study, you must have conducted some survey or some kind of thing. So that is there in the appendices. So depending on what kind of study it is, you uh, put that information in the appendices. Any other question, class? Shall I move forward, or you have any other question regarding the format? No.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Now, I have talked about, this structure, the format of the technical report. Now, there are certain ideas, some key points you need to keep in mind, when you are writing a report. Okay. First one is that you must use names and pronouns. Okay. Like I, he, her, when you are writing about yourself or others in that particular scene. Don't use, like expressions like this officer, above mentioned person, or official one, officer two. This type of, designations or expressions should be avoided. It must be written in, in the first person or third person um, point of view. Okay. So this is one thing you need to keep in mind when you are writing the report. Okay. Names and pronouns must be used. Okay. Then, when you are drafting the report, there are many ideas which you need to explain when you are writing the report. Okay. So it's better, you put one idea in one sentence. Don't try to make it complex sentence, and each sentence dealing with two, three ideas. One idea, explain that idea clearly in small, simple sentences, short, simple sentences. That will actually, contribute to the clarity of that, you know, the report or, the experiment you have conducted. Okay. It will become easier for the readers to understand. If it is, complex sentence and then you are using, so many technical terms, jargons are there, the reader might think that you are not very clear with the idea, and that is why you have written such convoluted sentences. But if you write short simple sentence, the idea would be that okay, this person has understood what this person has done. So since there is this clarity, he or she has been able to put forward that idea in clear terms. Okay. So one idea per sentence. You must be as clear and specific as possible. Okay. There is no point, in beating about the bush. Your purpose is not just to fill up the pages. Suppose you have to submit a report, 10 pages report. It does not mean that, you would just talk about anything and everything in that just to, make it 10 pages for the report. No, that is not your purpose. Excuse me. So you must clearly state what you want to state. It must be specific. No beating about the bush. After all, this is a technical document. Okay. You're not writing a story that you can just go on building the plot and the subplot. No. It's a technical document, so you have to be specific. You must use simple language. Okay. Why, simple language is best? Once again, it will show that you have understood it, and then the language you are expressing your idea in, okay, it will show that you have command over that language as well. You can express yourself in that language. There are many people, you must have seen or you will see, as you move on, with your Btech degree, and if some of you go for the PG course, you might come across people, sometimes faculty members are also there, who have very good understanding of the fundamental concepts of a particular subject, but when it comes to expressing the same, they might not be very comfortable in that language. Okay. So when you're not comfortable in this language, okay, your ideas do not come out clearly. So despite having good understanding of that topic subject, it doesn't help. So command over the language is required. Command over the language again does not mean that you would write such expressions that people have to look up the dictionary. No, that is not the case. Simple language, grammatically correct. Okay. in whichever language you are writing. You must stick to observable facts. You're conducting an experiment or you're solving an equation. So you can see the results. Okay. So what the results are there, before you, you must always write that. There is no, place for imagination or creativity in that way. Yes, creativity might be there if you are, trying something new, experiment, you're doing some kind of experiment. Experiment itself, shows that you are quite creative in that field. So after conducting that, whatever results come up to you, you must stick to that. Okay. The report must be presented in paragraphs. Okay. And these paragraphs must have headings, subheadings, subtitles. Okay. It will give, and it will make your report easier to be followed. Okay. The paragraphs with headings, subheadings will actually show, this section deals with this particular idea. So let's go through it. Okay. So that is the idea. Use active voice. Passive voice may, guarantee objectivity and accuracy, but this is actually a mistaken notion. Okay. If you write sentences in active voice, it serves the same purpose. Okay. You have to do it in active voice. It will show that it was directly done by you and the people concerned, with you. It will show that. Now you can use bullet styles along with paragraphs. Okay. If there are certain salient points which you needs to be highlighted within the paragraph, you can use bullet points for those type of information. It will highlight actually what you want to say, and it will not be lost, in that maze of words or paragraphs. It becomes easier to spot actually the information you are trying to show. Okay, or present. So these are certain points which you need to keep in mind, when you are preparing this technical report. Is this clear, class? Is there any question? Any question, class?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now I am uploading this document on your classroom. You would go through it and see if you have followed everything on that. So just give me a minute. I'm uploading. Okay. I have uploaded the document on your classroom. Just check whether it is accessible to all or not. Have you found it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Okay,
Yes.
fine. Now just go through this document and see if you can follow, relate to the information given there. Just go through it real quick. Mute yourself. Can you roll number 26? Are you going through the document?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it clear, class? The document? Are you able to follow everything?
Yes, ma'am. Followed.
Okay, any question?
Yes, ma'am. If we are writing the paragraphs, how can we put the bullets if it is required? I mean, within the paragraph, we can write the bullet points.
No. Suppose in see paragraph, it must have a heading. Okay, a heading will signify a particular section you are discussing. So you will explain some kind of you will explain what that section is all about, and then within the section, suppose you have to discuss some salient points, or let's say the stepwise experiments. Okay, the first stage is this, second stage is this, third stage is this. Okay, so in that case you can use bullet points. Okay, Suppose a stepwise uh, uh, way to perform this experiment is as follows. Then you put the bullet points and you write. So you have already started with a paragraph where you have explained in one, two sentence what the section is all about. And then when you're talking about, why you are introducing these bullet points, you write that sentence and then you bring in the bullet points. But then, you can include bullet points only when you require it. Other than that, you don't include bullet points. You write it in paragraph form. Followed? Did you follow?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Any other question? Okay, so if there is no question, okay, so we will end the class here today. Okay, thank you, class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.